Today we are here for the Hour of Devastation Bundle Product Analysis. Should you buy this? Now, the answer to that is going to vary based on a number of factors. So let's go through all the values that are considered within this equation, and then we will be able to figure out whether this is a product that is worthwhile to purchase for you particularly. So, in these bundles, actually, first of all, a little bit of history for anybody who doesn't know what these are. These originally used to be called Fat Packs, and then Wizards was petitioned by social justice warriors, and the social justice warrior SJW manipulation worked, and they've changed the name now to Bundle. And what they did out of fear was they picked the most just harmless sounding name they could come up with and put absolutely no effort into it. So that's why it's called Bundle, in case anybody's wondering. Wizards is afraid of fat shaming and things of that nature. That would actually be amazing if that was the case. But anyways, Fat Packs. So they used to come, well, way back in the day, they used to come in these weird, big, tall boxes and actually come on with like a full-on novel and everything. They were pretty cool. They've gone through a number of different iterations. The problem with the first ones, especially with the books, they don't appeal to everybody. So they're trying to make a product that appeals to a wider range of players. And this is for more established players, but honestly, I think could also be of use for players who are starting out, depending on their scenario. So inside each of these, they used to come with multiple the longer, nice cardboard boxes with the artwork on them. Now they've gone down to having one of these in the box set. One of the improvements that they've made, which I really like, is they have slanted the bottom side of one part of the box lid so that now it no longer fits perfectly over the box, because the Fat Pack boxes had a really nasty habit of getting stuck and would be really hard to pull apart. In fact, sometimes you would end up damaging the box considerably to get it open. And that's a huge design flaw. Not good for the cards inside either. So, that is an excellent change to the box. Now, inside this bigger box too, there is another little tinier box that can be used as a partition or separated outside of it. Now, these boxes are actually made of fairly rugged material. They're not as cheap as the deck boxes that come with things like the Planeswalkers deck. So they're thicker cardboard, and I like them. Now, all the contents of the bundle, I have sold all of these different bundle contents in numerous forms over the years through different Fat Packs. So I have a pretty good idea of the rough range around when these come out, what they're worth. And some of them can go up a bit. But anyways, we'll talk about all that. Now, the boxes themselves, they are worth about $3 to $5. And you might be able to get a little bit more even, because they were $3 to $5 when you would get two in the Fat Pack, and now it's just the one. So anyways, the box itself, with the small little box inside, you can value that between $3 to $5 reasonably, because you can get that for it. Next up is they include one of those awesome spin-down 20-sided life dice. I'm a huge fan of those. Obviously they're no good for randomly rolling because they're not randomized, but they're perfect when you want to keep track of your life so you don't have to constantly be shifting around for different numbers. So in terms of using dice for life tracking, I'm a big fan of these dice, and they easily sell all day for $2 or $3 a piece. No problem. And on top of that, if you guys don't know, if you have older Fat Packs kicking around, you would be amazed if you found out the value of some of the dice, especially if you have the ones that came back, like way back when they first started doing these dice. Some of these spin down dice are worth $15 or $20. So, the dice obviously would take a long time to get anywhere near that value, and who knows if there are, I don't know what the number were that were produced back then, and if that's the only reason that it's worth that much, or if it's age, but either way, it's reasonable to expect these dice will always be worth at least $2 or $3, if not more, over time. Next up, we have the land pack. They always include an 80-card land pack in these. Generally, it's just regular basics. This one, however, is juicy because it has 20 of the full art versions of the lands. And that's cool. It's kind of what they did this set. Instead of just putting full art lands in every pack like they did with the return to the Battle for Zendikar stuff, basically they did it so that 1 out of every 4 packs will have one of these lands. So they're basically, 4 times as rare as a regular land. So to maintain that rarity and the flavor of it, 60 of the cards in this pack are regular and 20 are the full arts. Now normally the land pack is only worth about $2 or $3. In this case, the full art lands are worth about 50 cents each. So that's $10 worth of value there, plus $2 for the rest of the land. So you can value that at $10 to $12 on the land pack reasonably because of the full art lands. Otherwise, it's not a big deal. There is the extra box that's included with the Planeswalker symbol. This, you can value it at something. Personally, for me, I currently value it at 0. The way that it's shaped and designed is it's not really useful for much. I mean, you're not going to want to keep cards stored in it. It's a good thing, I guess, to keep your cell phone in if you want to have your cell phone on the table, but also away so you're not using it. But other than as like a Planeswalker courtesy box, I genuinely don't see the purpose of this. You could keep dice in it, I guess, but people have much cooler containers. So this box to me is fairly useless. It would have been better off than just being like a regular deck box. But I think they just put it in there to make the bundle look bigger, because otherwise it would be just a smaller product. Although they could extend the box out to keep it the same size. So maybe not. Either way, that's not factored into the valuation, but feel free if it's a value to you. I mean, you could easily get $1 for it. I mean, I've seen people buy them for $1, but I just value them at nothing because of how many there are kicking around and how few people seem to genuinely have interest in it. Other than that, we have the booklet that comes with it, like I don't know what they call them now, probably player's guide, something like that. And those booklets are actually, I like them. I like having those from each set. I used to have them stretching all the way back, and I genuinely regret that I no longer possess those because they're really nice visually to look through. And I'm old school, so I also enjoy being able to have like a physical copy of something in my hands as opposed to just looking stuff up online. I mean, online is great in terms of information access, but there's just something physical about having these books. So these booklets are great because they have a list of all the cards in the set, plus Wizards top 10 list, where they hilariously, like, will talk about some of the expensive, powerful cards and then just shunt some other stuff in there and pretend like they're cool. And the reasons they give are pretty half-assed some of the times. But the story snippets that they include in these, I really like them. I find these booklets to be great overall, and they're easily worth anywhere from $2 to $5 depending on who you talk to. And obviously, the further this gets out, the more this is going to be worth. Like, the longer this has been out of print, essentially, the more it becomes worth, because there will be people who want to collect these and have them from all sets. So, $2 to $5 on that. Other than that, we have what they've been doing with the M&Ket block, which I hope they keep doing going forward, which is including one copy of each token. I think that's really cool. Tracking down all the tokens can be a real hassle for, like, I mean, you have to, first of all, crack them all in packs, go through, make sure you have them all. This way, you get them all in one tight little pack, which is really nice. You don't have to go and dig around for them. On top of that, there are rarities to tokens as well that are generally tied to the rarity of the card producing them. So a mythic rare will have a far rarer token. So if you want, let's say, the Locust token, I'm guessing, now I mean, obviously we haven't seen print distribution, but based on previous data, if you want the Locust token that goes with the Locust God, he's a mythic, I expect those to be a fairly rare token. Now, when you combine having a fairly rare token with the mythic that it's tied to being an incredibly standard viable card, which is what happened with Voice of Resurgence, you'll actually find the tokens being worth quite a bit. The token that was generated by Voice of Resurgence, while it was still in standard and in print, was worth $5 at its peak. And you can actually get $5. This wasn't a theoretical $5. People would pay you $5 for this token. And that is one token, the rare token. Now, granted, that is a rare extreme simply to illustrate that some of these tokens can have a high-end value. But it does happen frequently that there will be like a $1 rare token kicking around. And so being able to get this token pack ensures that you will get the rare tokens without having the hassle of tracking them down and trying to trade them or whatever, which I do like. And depending on the tokens that are in each pack, I feel safe in this particular case. I mean, there's not too many tokens, but you do have ones from some of the mythics. So I think $3 to $5 is a reasonable valuation on the token pack. Now, if you disagree with any of these valuations, obviously adjust the number in your mind or on the paper you're working with, however you like to do it. And then that will obviously factor in differently than the numbers I'm going to end up with here. But if anything doesn't sound right to you, just ignore that part. Obviously, this is just how I view things, and this is just based off of the information I have from previous sales of these objects and speculation. So at this point, that covers all the non-pack items that are in a bundle. Now, on top of that, on top of everything that we've covered, you get 10 booster packs. So basically, if you add up all the value of all the other objects aside from the packs that we've discussed, you will get a range of $20 to $30. $20 if you're being conservative and using the absolute lowest values that I've given, and $30 if you're using the higher end. And again, I like to use conservative estimates, so even my higher end estimates are conservative. I'm not like running off the rails with this. These are completely reasonable prices that I, even on the high end, could easily expect to get. I've sold tons of those boxes at $5. Everything at the high end I've sold except for the token pack, because that's something new and I can't have sold that because it's, I mean, aside from the previous one. So $20 to $30 in additional valuation on top of the 10 booster packs. So now the question becomes, how much do booster packs cost where you are? How much does a bundle cost where you are? And how much do you in particular want booster packs? So if you're someone who opens a lot of booster packs, then this is going to be a great deal for you. I mean, if you're normally buying 10 booster packs, usually, at least, you know, at the store that I go to and where I've seen elsewhere, aside from when you go to like Walmart where they have insane prices, you could look at a bundle being like a $50 bundle. Okay, so it's $50, and these are all Canadian prices, guys, just in case I have not mentioned that, because this is in Canada and these are the numbers I'm used to. Remember that. So $50 for a bundle, and booster packs retail for $5 here. So 10 packs is $50. So if you're going to buy 10 packs anyways, it's automatic that you should buy the bundle. It is an automatic get the bundle if you can. Now, if the bundle is $10 more, then if the rest of the stuff in the contents are worth it to you, I mean, in terms of money, the extra stuff is worth $20 to $30. So even if the bundle's $60, you're still getting $20 or $30 extra value over those packs for the $10 more that you paid, which makes it a good deal. If you're somebody who doesn't care at all about booster packs, this is a terrible deal for you. If you don't open booster packs, do not bother with the bundle, because the other stuff that you are getting cannot make your value. It just won't get you there. And on top of that, the individual pieces can be picked up cheaper from people and you can haggle for them. And when the bundles first originally come out, that's the time to get the stuff cheapest. So if you just want pieces from it, do not bother buying the bundle. If you love getting booster packs, even if you're just going to buy like 5 or 6 booster packs normally, it's still worth it to move up just to get this stuff. Even if you're not going to use the tokens, you keep that pack sealed. There are people who love tokens. I sell long boxes full of tokens. I remember even before I was like hardcore selling cards, I would bring stacks of tokens to big events in Toronto because I knew there were individuals who wanted these tokens. And it's funny, they'll play like they don't, but trust me, they really do. I put down a huge stack of tokens in front of a guy, and I told him that I wanted a $30 rare for it. And he said, I ain't giving you no $30 rare for it. And I said, okay, no problem. You don't need to take these tokens. And he's like, oh no, I want the tokens. I was like, okay, well, here's how it works. They're worth what, a quarter each? So we agreed a quarter each in trade. And then I counted them all up. He's like, I don't want to count them. So I sat there and counted them. And then I was like, great, now you owe me $38 in trade. So I ended up getting $38 in trade for a bunch of tokens that to me are worthless nothing, right? Most tokens to me are garbage. So if you're the same way, this token pack, that's value. On top of that, the cool thing about these token packs and things like that, they give you access to trading with people who are more niche. There are some people who are only interested in very specific things, and you can't trade with them under most circumstances. However, if you can get something they want, that's like a key to the kingdom right there, and you can be like, okay, I can get something I really want from you. So I like what you can get out of this. If you don't want if you're just going to buy 10 packs, you buy the bundle anyways, crack it, take the 10 packs, keep the stuff you want from it, trade or sell the rest away, and you are ahead. I think that the bundle is a great product for anybody who likes to buy boosters, but it's not useful for anybody who's not really buying boosters. As a beginner product, it's pretty decent because it gives you basic lands, as well as the booster packs, a box to keep everything in, a life die to start out with, all the tokens you'll need for the set, a beginner's guide to the set, or a visual guide to the set, not a beginner's guide. They have the toolkit, and honestly, I was never even going to do an analysis of the toolkits because the toolkits were so garbage before, and I thought they still were. But I went and looked at the MacLeod toolkit, and they've actually revamped how they've done things considerably to the point where it's deserving of its own analysis. Now, I don't know if it's worth it to go back and do one for the MacLeod, but the next toolkit that comes out, we're definitely going to talk about because they've changed things, and it's of interest. It may be a value or it may not, but it's something to look at. Anyways, so when it comes to the bundle, it is not a yes across the board, but if you are a pack enthusiast, it is pretty much an automatic yes. Otherwise, it's almost always going to be a good deal for you. It's rarely a bad idea to grab a bundle unless you hate packs and consider it a really bad use of your money. Because otherwise, 20 to 30 extra dollars worth of value on top of the boosters is solid. And I didn't even mention the fact that the outer bundle wrap is also a poster. And sometimes those posters are really cool. They're usually landscapes. They look really great. But anyway, wow. Woo! Choking me up or something. Anyways, that covers the analysis of the bundle for Hour of Devastation. I hope that you found this information useful. If there's anything that I've left out or anything you think could be added to an analysis of this type, by all means, let me know. I'm always looking to make improvements to this. So thanks for tuning in. We will no longer be fat packing from now on. We'll be bundling up. And we will see you for the next MTG Perp L.